everyone, it's Valerie from Stampin' with Valerie, and I want to welcome you to another video. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, and so if you live in the United States and you do not have a demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator. So today we are going to make a fantastic little Christmas card using the In the Pine stamp set and the Pine Woods dies. Now I'm going to show you the dies real quick. Obviously you've been able to see the stamp set there, but look at all those fantastic dies that come in this set. So we're going to be using both of these to make this card today. So I'm going to grab all of our little pieces and we can get started. All right, so I already have my pieces cut and I embossed this piece of Whisper White. It's 3.5 by, let me make sure, it might be 3 1/4. It is 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. And that's not the folder I wanted. I'm trying to grab my winter snow folder with those fantastic, gorgeous snowflakes. Isn't that pretty? So I embossed the background with that. And then we're going to use this other piece of Whisper White here and we're gonna stamp our trees in Mossy Meadow. So I'm gonna grab that Mossy Meadow pad, and then the wonderful thing about these trees is they are two-step stamping. So you have your background and you have your outline layer. I love what I call this the little squiggly tree. I love it. Actually, they're both kind of squiggly. So just ink it up, stamp your background. Isn't that pretty? Even just like that, it would be gorgeous without doing the outline on it. Ink up your outline, line it up with your background, and just stamp over it. Perfect. Then we're going to do the same for the smaller tree. We're going to do that background first. And then we'll stamp around it with that squiggly. Like, I don't know about you, but this really is like these little things like this that are kind of, I guess, whimsical is what I would call them. I love them. It's kind of just, they're kind of whimsical trees and I think they're gorgeous. I'm going to set that Mossy Meadow aside. And I'm going to pull the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine over just so it's on camera a little bit. Maybe I'm not going to be able to fit it on camera the way I have the camera set up. So I'm just going to talk to you and do my die cutting at the same time. So we have this die here that will cut that one out. And there's also this one to cut out the smaller tree. And so all you're going to need to do, if you have the Stampin' Cut and Emboss sheet machine, you're going to layer plate 1 and plate 2, and then you're going to do a number 3 plate. Put your cardstock down, put your dies where you need them, and then you're going to put a number 3 plate over that again. And the wonderful thing about the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, I just knocked my Stampin' Zeal Plus on the floor, is each of the plates are numbered, and on plate number 1 and plate number 2 you have lots of different instructions for how to layer for different cutting and embossing. When I say I knocked it on the floor, I really mean it like totally came apart. It's not broken, but it came apart. So I guess this is a good way to show you how to refill it. Once you have it apart, then you just slide that in and it pops back together. All right, so we have our trees cut. How pretty are those? Love them. And so we do not need these dies anymore. I'm gonna put those back over there so I don't knock those on the floor because we definitely do not want to lose those. And then we can start our layering. So I am just gonna layer all of these flat. I'm not even gonna dimensional any of them. Can you believe it? I know, because you know me, you know I love to put those dimensionals on there and make it, as I call it, fluffy. I like to add lots of fluff to my cards, but this is not one of them. This is more of a traditional Christmas card, and so it's going to be not as fluffy. All right, so this is Mossy Meadow, and the Mossy Meadow piece is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And then we're going to layer that onto a piece of cherry cobbler that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. So each one of these goes up 1/4 of an inch in size to make those layers and give you those borders that are that size. Aren't those pretty? Those three colors together just really make me happy. Now we are going to use some of the diagonal striped ribbon in Mossy Meadow. We're gonna layer it around here and we are just gonna tie a knot. Now, for wrapping a Christmas package, this would be perfect for tying a bow, but on a card that you're gonna be mailing, a knot is plenty. You're still probably gonna have to put, you still might have to put extra postage on it. Now, I'm not saying for sure because I'm not a postmaster, but I'm gonna say you might need to add extra postage. Just make sure you take it to the post office and find out before you mail it, because you don't wanna get it back in a week saying, oh, you can't send this, you know. There's nothing worse than sending something to someone and then they don't get it and you get it back. I've had that happen where I've sent a card and someone has moved or something, but it has taken a month for it to get back to me and I have no idea that they didn't get the card until a month later. Now, I actually cut a little bit too much here, obviously, but I can save those pieces to use for other cards if I want to. They could stick out from behind a die cut and it would be adorable. And you wouldn't even know that they were scraps, right? All right, once you have that on there, I like to put my tape, my Stampin' Seal, all around the entire edge. Now, here's a little trick if you haven't seen me do it before. And sometimes it works with other tape runners, sometimes it doesn't. It depends on your tape runner, but I literally just go right over that ribbon. And it will help hold your ribbon in place. And you don't have to worry about your ribbon shifting on the card or popping off from the card, especially with that Stampin' Seal Plus, because once it's stuck, it's stuck. That stuff is like super strong. So just be aware of that. If you start to put something down crooked, you're probably gonna have to put it down crooked, or if you try to peel it off, you're probably gonna ruin your underneath layer. So just be prepared to prep a new layer because it really is that strong. All right, take our trees. This one's gonna go flat, the small one, and the big one, we're just gonna put a couple of dimensionals on the back of it. I'm just gonna use regular size dimensionals. I don't need mini ones for this. And then we're going to need a piece for our sentiment, which is just a little 1/2 inch strip. And I'm not even going to cut it, but if you were to cut it, you would probably need it to be about 2 3/4 inches or so. That's about how, it's a little bit longer than this Season's Greetings. Grab some Cherry Cobbler ink. Ink up your sentiment, put it on that little 1/2 inch strip, or stamp it on there is what I should say, not put it on there. And then just cut it at a diagonal on this end, and then do the same on this end, just cut a little diagonal. You don't even have to measure if you don't want to. You can just do it like that, and it's perfect. All right, take your backings off from your tree, put a little bit of adhesive on the back of your small tree. And now I'm gonna put the small tree on first, and I'm gonna put it quite a bit under that ribbon. Just stick that down, and then your larger tree is gonna go over the ribbon. Just kind of a little bit over the small tree, but not all the way. And then some dimensionals on your sentiment. And now I've used all of these, so I'm just gonna take my scissors and I'm just gonna cut a little strip. Put that on there so it can be hooked down with a little strip. Oh, he's a little crooked, and I haven't stuck him down really hard yet, so I can pick him back up and just kind of keep one end stuck, and then you can just kind of turn it a little bit to get it on there. Now, instead of using traditional, some of our traditional Christmas embellishments, I decided to use the Elegant Faceted Gems for this. And I think it looks absolutely gorgeous on there if you use some of these white ones and some of these clear ones. Just use a combination of them and just kind of put them, I actually kind of put them in the center of some snowflakes. So just pick a few snowflakes to put these in the center of. And I love how it looks on the card. It just is super cute. Actually, there's a snowflake behind there, but it's not quite, we're gonna put it on there anyway. It's kind of on the edge of the little tree, but that's okay. And then we'll use another small one over here. We'll go maybe on this snowflake. And then one more big clear one down here. And that should be good. So I just kind of like to mix them up and move them around. You don't have to make, they don't have to be all the same and all perfect. And I just kind of like, I actually like using odd numbers. Again, I'm a little odd, so maybe that's why. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you buy the In the Pines bundle and make some of these cards for Christmas to hand out to your friends or give to family members. And you have a great rest of your evening, and I will see you next time. Again, this is Valerie from Stampin' with Valerie. Bye.